Here to talk more about the situation, I'd like to welcome in Armen Kurdian, retired Navy captain and U.S. and international government policy analyst. Thanks for being here. The U.S. does not have a seated ambassador for Israel right now. How important is that?
Good morning, Marni. It's not only do we not have a seated ambassador to Israel, Lebanon, Egypt, Oman, Kuwait, I mean, all these major players that are right there in the Middle East right now, we don't even have a sitting speaker at the moment to even pass a resolution condemning this. I don't even know if atrocity is the right word. Obviously, we have to get these people in place. I mean, it's great that we've sent weapons to Israel. Also, the strike group there is a strong message of solidarity. What I would like to see is some of our European allies send some of their ships so that we can help strangle Hamas from the sea to prevent any resupply of weapons or other war material that might come in either via small boats or small aircraft. And hopefully with the strike group, we've also got a maritime interdiction teams, which could potentially board any ships going into Hamas or just stop them and turn them around. Israel may be planning to blockade Gaza from the sea as well. That's entirely possible. So obviously getting these ambassadors in place is vital. It's a necessary function. There's reasons why you have ambassadors for that direct liaison, but obviously we are continuing to work with Israel as close as we can, sharing intelligence, providing resources, doing whatever we can in order to see that Israel comes out of this a victoria and that Hamas is destroyed.
Yeah, and I hear what you're saying. An international coalition is needed here. The Biden administration says it can support both Israel and Ukraine at the same time maintain global readiness. You question that, though. Why?
So it'll be a little bit of a challenge. If you're talking about regular conventional ammunition or other kinds of supplies, we can turn that kind of stuff out pretty quickly. When you get into things that are more technologically advanced, say smart weapons or laser guided bombs or any kind of things that require a lot of integrated circuitry, those kinds of weapons material take a little bit longer to produce and develop. Sure, we can, lean on our contractors and our defense industrial complex to say, hey, we need to get these as fast as possible. But sometimes there are just realities in the global supply chain and the U.S. supply chain, which just make it a little bit more of a challenge. So we do need to support Ukraine and we do need to support Israel. It's absolutely vital. It's central to our own national security. So don't get me wrong. We have to do what we have to do. But can we do this indefinitely? That might put a strain on us, and our leaders are going to have to make a really good determination to decide at what point do we start to impact our own material readiness, and does this potentially invite other hostile actors across the world to maybe take actions in other parts of the world to continue to stretch us and perhaps see at what point the U.S. is unable to support its allies.
Hamas is a terrorist group, and listening to these atrocities, this is on another level of comprehension, the acts that have been carried out. But we know they are terrorists. What has these attacks shown us about the threat and the danger that they still and potentially pose?
Well, Marni, sadly, the last 20 years, we've seen what the Taliban has done, what Al-Qaeda has done, what ISIS has done. And prior to that, throughout all of human history, we've seen these organized groups, these acts of evil, wanton mass murderers. We need to come up with some new words for what Hamas is doing to Israel right now. They are absolutely a terrorist organization. Ever since they got hold of Gaza, the prospects for peace in that region have gone down with what Hamas has done. I don't know what the prospects for peace are going to be over the next 20, 30 years until Hamas is absolutely gone and destroyed, eliminated as a force or wiped from the face of creation, and that we prevent Iran from reconstituting that kind of capability within the Gaza Strip. Then this is going to continue. Israel absolutely has to get the job done. They are very capable in doing it, but it's going to be a slog. They're going to have to go in building by building, house by house, and room by room, and root these people out and kill them, capture them, destroy all those weapons, destroy the infrastructure, and then perhaps we can get on with the business of a little bit more semblance of what counts as normal within the Middle East.
Yeah. And more blood will undoubtedly be shed as Hamas terrorists live amongst the community, and they hide in plain sight. Armen Kurdian, thank you.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.